Hello, welcome back to Workforce Wednesday. My name is Emily Petnato, and I am the Workforce Development Specialist at the Greater Scranton Chamber of Commerce and your host of Workforce Wednesday. Joining me today, I have Chris Von Onen, Director of Employment Services at Goodwill Industries, and HR Director Tiffany Ferguson. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me today. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having us, and happy holidays. We're both happy to be here.
Yes, I'm happy to have you.
Yes, thanks,
you.
Emily. We're thrilled to be here.
Thank you. I'm happy you're here. Why don't you start by telling us about your employment services?
Well, sure, absolutely. I mean, let me take a step back. So a lot of people in the area, when they hear Goodwill, right, the first thing they think about is our stores. And that's an important thing. We've had the stores since December of 1943. They started in an abandoned old factory building in Scranton. Fast forward 78 years, and there's a lot going on. So besides the stores, we have 12 group homes, we have 9 stores, 3 donation centers, and a warehouse in the Keystone Industrial Park where they do e-commerce and things like that. For me, the employment services is really an exciting area. So it's the root, it's, what Goodwill was founded on. So way back in 1943, the idea was people would donate clothes and people would sort through it and decide what could be sold and what couldn't be sold. And, that was the beginning of it. So that was to develop jobs. And we were actually one of the first in the area to provide supportive employment to people with disabilities in the area. So we have a long tradition of job services and employment services. But today, it's grown and it's a little bit different. So I work with a variety of people in the employment area. We have an employment specialist who's embedded in the Lackawanna County court system in Judge Barace's court. So we provide, job services, career services for those individuals. We also have something that people don't think about. If you look over my shoulder, and I'm just going to spin my laptop a little bit, we have a computer lab. So when you think of career services, people think of placement, but we also have training opportunities. We provide digital skills training for people who are court involved, for people who are at high risk, people who are low income. We also have a bunch of services that we provide for high school kids, transition age kids. That includes work experiences where they work one-on-one with a job coach in an employment situation. They're earning a stipend and they're learning job skills at the same time. We also have a small group employment center, which is up in Dixon City, but is in 4 of our locations. And small group employment works with CPS. CPS is what we would call daycare or adult services. For adults, they could go and they could learn life skills and how to budget money and keep up on current events. And some of those individuals are in our residential homes, but they also work in our small group employment. And small group employment is designed to give those individuals a chance to learn the job skills they need, the vocational skills to work in the community independently. So you'll see a lot of those people helping stock our shelves, sort our merchandise, greet customers as they come into the stores. So we do that as well. With the school students this summer, we ran a program that we called Summer Employment Boot Camp. It really wasn't a boot camp like in a military sense, but what we were doing was 30 hours of lecture and guest speakers, and then 30 hours of out in industry where our students got to tour different businesses, see what those jobs, what those trades or vocational skills look like. So there's a lot of different areas that employment touches. Like I said, everywhere from the school student at 14 or 15 years old to people who are court involved, veterans, to people with disabilities and other barriers. So we're involved in a lot of different areas in the community that people don't necessarily know about. They think about the Goodwill stores.
And that's why I'm particularly excited to have you guys here, because everyone does look at Goodwill and thinks about the stores, and they don't know about all these great opportunities and services you have. So thank you for explaining those.
Oh, you're welcome.
Can you go into a little bit more detail about the training and career readiness services you have? I know you have a digital program you mentioned.
Yeah, so with the digital skills program, we actually received a grant from Labor and Industry this past year. And what we've done with that is combine the digital skills with working with an employment specialist. So the digital skills program it starts if you don't even know how to turn on a computer, if you've never done anything online, it starts from there. And the people who are enrolled in the program have the opportunity to earn a certificate from North Star, which is similar to the Microsoft certification in a number of different areas. Believe it or not, one of the areas that you can earn that certification is in distance education. So as we're in this age of COVID and pandemic, last year, some of the services that I provided were virtual. I was teaching a class with Liberty University down in Luzerne County, and my staff can now go and, anybody who qualifies could take this course and learn how to do these things, remotely online with other certifications. So we're really excited about that. And then once again, small group employment, somebody who's not ready to, work out in the community yet could go there and learn some of those skills, and they're getting paid. They're a Goodwill employee, and they have a job coach that works with them and walks them through the steps, whether it's, stocking merchandise or sorting through donations, and the social skills as well. Learning those soft skills, which are so important in the workplace. So that's another area the employment specialists and job coaches work with the individuals.
What other services do you provide?
So as I mentioned, we also have what we call CPS, which is Community Participation and Support. And that program runs through the day out of Dixon City. And it's a chance for people to get together. They're learning some of those pre-vocational skills. They're also socializing. They're also making friends. And they work on different fun activities, but they're also learning at the same time, whether it's money management. They may go out to the mall. They may go out to Dunkin' Donut, and they're learning how to manage their money. They do a lot of fun activities in the CPS center as well. So there's a lot of camaraderie, and I share a lot of those individuals with my small group employment. So it's designed to develop the social skills and the employment skills in one group. As I mentioned before, we also have the 12 group homes, which are small group homes. Anywhere from 1 to 4 residents in the home. So people who are not necessarily in a situation where they could live by themselves. We provide that support and that guidance and help that they need. And then we do have the donation centers and the warehouse and the e-commerce site as well. So there's a whole range of services. So anybody with disabilities or barriers to employment, we're willing to work with them. We do work with them. And that's kind of the nature, we call it our mission. Right. So our mission is, we do good together is kind of our motto. And that's really what things are built on, is to, give somebody with disabilities or somebody who's disadvantaged, the chance to do all that they can and be all that they can in the community. So that's really what Goodwill's all about. I have a personal motto. Mine is, if we all help each other a little bit, synergy takes over and we end up further ahead, right? So, if you help me and I help Tiffany, and help doesn't have to be a big thing, but when we combine it, we end up further ahead as a community, as individuals. And that's really what Goodwill does. We're helping in a lot of different areas, and that synergy, puts that person further ahead. It helps them, in so many different ways.
You mentioned group homes. Where are they located? Are they located around Lackawanna County?
Tiffany, could you take that one?
Sure. Yes, we have, like Chris mentioned, 12 group homes located throughout Lackawanna and Luzerne counties.
So the positions you're hiring for, can you tell me what they are?
Sure, we have a wide variety of available positions right now. Direct support professionals, job coaches, retail clerks, e-commerce, drivers, and warehouse aides. There's really something for everybody.
So drivers, where would they be traveling to?
Same thing, they would be traveling to stores and to homes of individuals looking to make donations throughout Lackawanna and Luzerne counties.
Which stores are you hiring for?
Right now, we have 4 stores that we're hiring for. Scranton on Kaiser Avenue, in Dixon City, Mount Pocono, and in Bloomsburg as well.
I saw that you were hiring for an employment specialist and job coach. What type of person are you looking for to fill this position?
Well, typically I'm looking for somebody with a degree, either a 2-year or 4-year degree. So somebody who's going to take that role, and you could use those terms kind of interchangeably, job coach and employment specialist. There's a bit of training involved. We provide that. It's at no cost. And every year that that person's employed with us, they're required to do 24 hours of annual training, most of which is, either online based or done in person, within our facilities. If somebody, the thing that I'm looking for is somebody who's going to be an employment specialist. I'm looking for somebody with a strong work ethic, somebody who's really reliable, right? Somebody who comes with a little bit different background. You don't necessarily need a degree in human services or social services, but you have to be somebody who, can talk to business owners, who could talk to managers, who's very articulate. A lot of this stuff, if somebody has the work ethic and they're willing to learn, they could come in and we'll teach them, we'll learn, they'll learn through us, we'll work with them. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a degree in human services, but I'm really looking for that strong work ethic, those soft skills. They're so important in what we do.
Do you provide training with most of the positions you have available?
We do, yes. We have an onboarding process that we go through with all of our new hires, so everybody's trained and has the tools they need to be successful.
Does Goodwill offer shopping online and e-commerce?
So I'll take that, yeah. So, right, so we do have shopgoodwill.com, great website. And long before I became a Goodwill employee, I'm an eBay shopper and I stumbled across Shop Goodwill. And believe it or not, where I worked prior, my office was decorated with some they were numbered and signed prints that I hung on the wall that came from Shop Goodwill. So I was doing Shop Goodwill before I even knew I'd be working at Goodwill, which is really cool. So I tell everybody, check it out. There's fantastic deals on there. And I'm not saying that as an employee, I'm saying that as a shopper. Get on there and check it out. Holiday season is here. I'm always looking for a deal. So I'm guilty of shopping there as well. And what's really neat, you talk about the e-commerce. We have a warehouse up in the Keystone Industrial Park. So a lot of our donations and stuff come in there, but a lot of, all of the e-commerce stuff is done there. And so we have like a little photo studio, if you will. And, everything is propped and, so it looks really professional when it's on the site. So they do a really good job there. Definitely go and check it out. It's shopgoodwill.com.
And
Do you have
Emily,
any-
again, that is one of the positions we are hiring for too, is an e-commerce associate. So it's a really fun position.
So they would be taking the pictures for the website, setting it up and everything?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Interestingly enough, several months ago, somebody came in and they donated a vase. And when the people sort through the donations, we have people who actually go and, they'll go online and see what's the value of this. So this vase came in and we didn't really know what the value was. It looked like, hey, this is something expensive. They put it on the Shop Goodwill site and it's sold for a little over $7,000 that somebody donated. So
Wow.
kudos if the kind donor is listening, kudos, we appreciate that. But yeah, you just never know what you're going to find on the website.
You don't. So if I was a job seeker, what else should I know about Goodwill?
I think what we really want to get across to everyone is our culture. You know, it's really unique that many of the same people that live in our group homes or attend our day program could also be your coworkers. That's the best part of this job, as well as the culture. People are here to make a difference. They're not here just to collect a paycheck every week. We have flexible work schedules, excellent benefits, really good work-life balance, and so much more. We're really a progressive agency. We value the people that work here. There's a sense of community, and our goal is to truly make a difference in people's lives. So whether you're coming into work as a direct support professional or part of our leadership team, people take the time to get to know you and hear you. You're not just an employee here. When you're at Goodwill, you're part of a team. Like Chris mentioned, our motto is we do good together, and that's how we conduct ourselves every day.
Is there anything else you would like to add that we haven't touched on?
Just real quick, you know, a couple things. So as Tiffany mentioned, you know, there's a lot of flexibility, but the true value is that intrinsic value when you're working with these individuals. You know, it sounds cliche, but you get that warm, fuzzy feeling because you're making an impact in someone else's life. So, you know, you can't put a price tag on it, right? You're making a huge impact on someone's life, and it's great to see that. And then as far as, you know, talking about the culture of Goodwill and what it's like to work here. So I've been doing the workforce development, you know, career services things for a while. And I came here 2 years ago. And one of the big reasons why I left my prior position, and, you know, it was basically a different title, but the same thing that I'm doing here, was that progressive nature. So I met with Kate Dempsey-Jones, our CEO, and after just talking a few minutes, we kind of had a shared vision. Like there was different things that I wanted to do and expand in the area. And Kate was on the same page of music. And so, you know, what we're doing is not just working with people with disabilities, but we're also working with some of those people who fall between the cracks, right? Somebody who might go to a different employment service, maybe a career link, and they don't fall into that funding stream. What I want to do and what Kate wants to do, and as being a progressive company, is to be able to help as many of those people as possible. And so that's what really attracted me here. You know, was Kate's vision that of growing things, of growing employment services and helping the community more and more. So, you know, for me, that was a big plus coming here.
How can someone who is interested get in touch to apply?
Sure, they can apply directly online through our website at goodwillnepa.org. Our Facebook page is up to date with open positions. The chamber website is up to date with our open positions, or they could feel free to reach out to us at 570-343-1166.
Chris and Tiffany, thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a job seeker interested in learning more or how to apply for these positions at Goodwill Industries of NEPA, visit goodwillnepa.org. If you are a business owner interested in registering for an upcoming Workforce Wednesday session, please contact me at epetnato@scrantonchamber.com or call 570-342-7711. To learn more about Workforce Wednesday, view past sessions, or view positions available from more of our member businesses on our job board, visit scrantonchamber.com. Thank you for tuning in today and joining me, Chris and Tiffany, and happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays, and thanks for having us.
Happy
Thank you.
holidays.
Thank you for joining.
Bye-bye.